On this Labor Day, the songbook as a vehicle for communication.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Schwab, helping people invest in ideas they believe in with Schwab investing themes, with more than 40 themes to choose from. More at schwab.com.
I'm David Brancaccio. On this Labor Day, this is shaping up to be the month that interest rates go down for the first time since the pandemic emergency. Guiding how far down they go and how quickly they go down will be the jobs market. The key readings on hiring and unemployment for the month just ended come on Friday morning. Marketplace's Nancy Marshall-Genzer has more.
Economists don't think the August jobs report will be as bad as July's, when unemployment ticked higher and way fewer jobs were created than analysts expected. EY senior economist Lydia Boussor thinks the August unemployment rate will actually fall.
Overall, we're expecting this jobs report to provide a little bit of reassurance that the labor market is not collapsing and that we're not seeing this downshift in labor market conditions gathering a lot of momentum.
Remember, the Fed has two jobs, getting inflation to 2%, but also keeping as many people employed as possible. Now that inflation appears to be getting under control, the Fed is turning more of its attention to the labor market. Boussor says even if we get a good jobs report on Friday, she still expects the Fed to cut interest rates at its September meeting because the unemployment rate has been creeping up over the past few months. Fed officials don't want to leave interest rates too high. That could slow the economy too much and snuff out job growth. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
In addition to the jobs report on Friday, this week also brings the latest look at construction spending. We'll learn more about the trade deficit, factory orders, and more. U.S. markets are closed for Labor Day. The money news never sleeps, nor does my colleague Kimberly Adams in her quest to get it to you. Listen for Kimberly. She's in for Kai Rizdal on the Marketplace half-hour program later today, where she'll have developments in workplace culture, innovation, small business, and more on many public radio stations, or stream from marketplace.org.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by C3 Generative AI. C3 Generative AI enables rapid access to secure, traceable, hallucination-free insights from enterprise systems, all while using any LLM, helping enterprises turn the invisible into the obvious. C3.ai. This is Enterprise AI.
Labor Day here may not be a holiday known for its music the way Christmas is, but maybe it should be. There is a long, rich history of workers using songs to advocate for better working conditions and to build solidarity. My Marketplace colleague, Ellen Rolfes, wrote about this for our project, Econ Extra Credit. Ellen, good morning.
Hi, David.
All right, we have some of this queued already. Hit it.
From San Diego up to Maine, in every mine and mill, where workers strike and organize, it's there you'll find Joe Hill.
The legendary performer and activist Paul Robeson singing about Joe Hill. Ellen, remind me, who's Joe Hill?
Yeah, so Joe Hill was a famous and, by some people's opinion, a notorious union organizer in the early 20th century. He was a member of the Industrial Workers of the World, a radical labor union, which was also known as the Singing Union, one of the first unions in the U.S. to start publishing songbooks of labor songs, which they handed out to workers all over the country as they tried to organize unions. These songbooks really helped to popularize labor protest music.
All right, we got a taste there, but give me a sense of some of the other songs. What kinds of things were people singing about?
Sometimes the songs are about specific workplace policies. You know, unions wanted to change things. They advocated for an 8-hour workday, for example. But other times the songs were about horrible accidents and deaths that happened on the job, as well as the violence that often broke out when workers went on strike. So when coal miners in Harlan County, Kentucky went on strike in the 1930s, the situation was so tense that the local sheriff at the time, a man named J.H. Blair, hired men to harass union organizers. They ransacked their homes, they threatened their families, and they often carried out violence aimed at breaking the strike. It inspired Florence Reese, the wife of a coal miner and union advocate, to write a ballad called Which Side Are You On?
Come on, you poor workers, good news to you I'll tell, how the good old union has come in here to dwell. Which side are you on?
David, I think what's so incredible about that song is it was written almost 100 years ago, but it is a song you will regularly hear at labor rallies and on the picket line today.
Now, how have the songs been shared? I mean, it's a world that doesn't have Spotify playlists for so many decades. I guess you mentioned the songbooks, right?
Yeah, many unions up until the late 60s, early 70s were publishing songbooks. And any time that protests or strikes occurred, workers would sing these songs to keep up energy, to share their message with people who were outside of the union, to build support for their causes. But, you know, a lot of songs like Which Side Are You On also grew in popularity nationally as folk singers like Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger began recording their own versions in the 40s and 50s.
And it's interesting, many famous protest songs outside the labor movement per se originated first as labor songs?
Yeah, so We Shall Overcome, which you probably are more likely to associate with the civil rights movement in the 1960s, it first appeared as a protest song during a labor strike in the 1940s against American tobacco in Charleston, South Carolina.
For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever.
And I know exactly who that is. That's going to be Pete Seeger. Marketplace's Ellen Rolfes, thank you so much for this.
Thanks, David.
Solidarity forever. Oh, the union makes us strong.
At Marketplace Online, Ellen's lined up more labor songs and links to some playlists of union songs. And our documentary for the month just ended was the Oscar-winning Harlan County, USA, an intense fly-on-the-wall take on a bitter coal mine strike in Kentucky in the 1970s. The films for this new month, September here, are Girls State and Boys State, both about teens who practice democracy by building student versions of representative government. Democracy is, in part, about the apportionment of resources, a kind of economics, I always say. Watch along and sign up for our free weekly newsletter, marketplace.org/econ extra credit. I'm David Brancaccio with the Marketplace Morning Report from APM, American Public Media.